Flash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hi there. Thanks for staying with us here on Prime Morning. And you might want to also get involved in our conversation this morning here on the show. Send us your messages on WhatsApp. We're streaming live on Facebook. This S News Flash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, Stowe Funks, Papa Pathie, and the Franco Trading Enterprise is giving you the very best of electronic gadgets. Now you can actually go into our branches and grab yourself any of the things that I'm just about telling you, right? So if you're in need of air conditioning, if you need a fridge, if you're looking for a television that you can use, now you need some phones, you need to change your phone, you need to buy for someone, you need to show some special person some love, you need any of the phones out there in terms of Nokia, Samsung, iPhone, and now the best place you can get is Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise is giving you the very best of deal, and the customer service is top-notch. And please, all you have to do is to just give us a call or walk into any of our branches, and you're good to go. Now, we're giving 40% discount on many of the accessories that you buy from us, and you know that definitely we're selling quality to you as well. So why don't you just come over and grab something from Franco Trading Enterprise? Call us on the numbers you see on your screens. Please do not pick any number on social media to speak to. Make sure you call the numbers that you see on your screens and do business with us. You can also download the app. It's Franco. Now, if you go to Google Play Store, you can just download Franco. Is the Franco Trading app. Just type Franco, and it's going to pop up so you can download, and you can see everything you need to know the branches, the numbers, the inquiries you want to make. Those are the places that you want to do them. And of course, our website is www.francotrading.com. You can also visit our website and get to see everything that you want to see, and you can also do business with us from there as well. Thank you so much to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. We're here with the conversation. My guests are seated. Now we're going to be looking at the newspapers, but we don't have them here right now. But we'll take a quick look at what is happening on my Joe Online. Get a few of the updates over there for you, and then we'll get into our major conversations. This morning we're looking at the GBA, the Ghana Bar Association, is actually opposing the suspension of the CJ by the president. And, they've given the president an ultimatum to actually revoke the suspension immediately, or they'll be forced to drag him to court. That issue is one of the issues that we're looking at this morning. A related development, the movement for change is actually backing the president. And they say that the president has not breached any legal, laws of the country, and so they don't understand why the Ghana Bar Association is going on that direction. But we'll find out. We'll get that conversation here on the show as well. So do well and share your thoughts with us. And also in Kumasi, about 5 excavators that were seized were getting themselves out of the Forestry Commission. As to who were doing so, Erastus will be giving us some update on that. But as of yesterday, we learned that the mayor of Kumasi, Honorable Richard, was the one who actually took them. Now, he actually owned up and took responsibility for that, but he indicated that it was for good intent and not any, anything untoward. And so the Coalition for Civil Society is actually not too happy about the situation, and even called that the regional minister and the mayor should have answered some questions, and even in worst case scenario, should have been removed from office. But we're going to be looking at this because the fight against Galamsey is a big fight. You can't be moving forward 2 times and people will bring you back 5 times. We don't want to get to that point, but we'll get into that conversation. So you can share your thought with us this morning here on the show. Now, let me introduce my guest in the studio, seated here with me. Richard Suma is here. He's a leading member for Movement for Change, and we'll be looking at the presser this morning as well. Rich, how are you doing, bro?
Well, I'm doing great. Great. I hope you're also doing great.
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Thank God for life.
Great. Gideon Tettey Tetteh is also here with me this morning. He's a lawyer and the regional director for conflict resolution for the NDC. And he's always looking dapper.
KM, just like you.
Oh,
just like you.
I knew you were coming.
Of course, I'm just following your steps. I hope you're fine.
I'm good.
Yes.
Good to see you, bro.
Yes, good to see you.
Great. Awal Mohammed will be joining us this morning as well. And as and when he's in, I introduce him. He's the National Communications Team member for the NPP. And he's also joining us on the conversation this morning. Now, let me quickly check on my Joe online and see what's happening over there. And then we'll get back into our major conversation down. This one over here says that law is not democracy. Deputy AG says GBA resolution on CJ suspension as legally meaningless. That's over here. And it has over there the Deputy AG, Sremsai, captured over there. Yesterday he was on Top Story and speaking on this very issue as well. Now, NPP supporters stabbed by alleged party vigilante over thank you Tall Cash, and I saw this on Facebook. I think yesterday I was told that it was both the I think the aid of NPP and then the aid of Baumia and the aid of another person, also Kennedy Japan, I think, that were involved in that, and it's not really confirmed though. But that's the issue on that very situation. Now, GBA's demand to revoke CJ suspension is legally flawed and disrespectful. Fadio Sorry actually speaks on that. So this issue has become very, very, very important because they went for what they call the resolution mid-year conference, and they actually decided that they want to put a few things together and share with the country as far as the CJ suspension was concerned. Now, don't forget that 4 days ago, when this issue came up, they said that it was not true. They said that, they didn't have anything to do with it because some of the stories were out there and the things that came out of the conference were out there, but they indicated that it was not true. But later we found out that, indeed, everything that were emanating from that, rumor that we heard were actually true because the resolution, in terms of what happened at the media conference is out, and that press statement is actually out. I'll be reading some of the things that they intended to do as far as the CJ is concerned to you. Now, the law is not in the bottom of the bar, Thaddeus Sorry says so, and the suspended thank you tour, it will deepen divisions, Kojo Mpienu into NPP. Some people still believe that the tour should continue, by the way, because it's supposed to thank people, but unfortunately, the turn that is taken, every single day something comes up, which it looks as though we're trying to actually, destroy our party more than building the party. Then some national security operatives attempt to abscond with seized Galamsey excavators. One of the conversations we'll be having today, and I've shared a few of that with you. And he didn't suffer any injury. State attorney tells assaulted journalist Latif Idrisu. And what are you thanking the people for? Kojo Impeni asks Baumia. And this very issue about Latif Idrisu, it's been going on for a while now, a very long time now. And this is some of the things that are coming out of it. But you see, it still puts journalists in a certain way. In terms of what journalists are doing with the kind of work that they're doing. And if you read stories like these, you want to be a bit worried about how we're going about it. But of course, the president of the GJA has been putting effort into ensuring that the press, the media men are protected in both government that have gone and government that have come. So that's a good one, but we can do better with that. What are you thanking the people for? Kojo Mpienu asks Baumia. And GBA urges Mahama to release full prima facie decision on Chief Justice suspension and no free stress policy. Education Minister launches a portal for registration by level 100 students. And Trump congratulates candidates Kanye as they agree to meet in near future. That's also captured by the newspapers. And of course, myjoyonline.com has the details over there. That'll be pretty much what we'll be looking at on the news portal and what has been reported. But you can go to myjoyonline.com and read more about it. And you can also share your thoughts with some of the issues that we've stated over here on the show. Now we'll get into our substantive issue, and I would want to begin with the Ghana Bar Association and what they put together. Now, they say resolutions of the Ghana Bar Association passed at its 2025 mid-year conference held at the Labadi Beach Hotel, La Accra, on Saturday, the 26th April 2025. And it says, we, the members of the Ghana Bar Association herein assembled at the 2025 mid-year conference of the bar, at the Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra, on this day, the 26th day of April 2025, stand united in our collective responsibility towards advancing the rule of law, justice, and the sustainable development of Ghana. Now, they stated a few things that they intend to do with that, which included recognizing, acknowledging, emphasizing conscience, and then they moved on to the suspension of the Chief Justice. And it says withdrawal of directive of assignment of courts and fixing of dates for newly filed cases and applications. That also went to the new acting Chief Justice, is Justice Honorable Bafuboni. They actually also spoke on the issue about him directing that most of the cases that are pending should be directed to him, and they spoke about that as well. Now, it says that the suspension of the Chief Justice, what they want the president to do is the revocation of suspension, B is enactment of regulations, and C, release a decision on prima facie case, and D, denunciation of prejudicial comments. And then they also spoke about matters of Galamsey as well. So these were the things that we're asking that is done in terms of the issue of the Chief Justice, or else they may be forced to actually drag the president to courts. Now, that's the issue we're looking at this morning. You can send your messages to us here on the show. But let me start off. I know this has been back and forth for a while. I mean, we've tried to establish the reason why it's even necessary for us to wait for the Council of States to actually come out with a report, and based on that, the president would act on it. Even that has been attacked, so one way or the other. Is the NDC very worried about the way situation in terms of the suspension of the Chief Justice is going right now? Or maybe you believe that we're legally doing what is right, so we're not pretend at all, no matter what the GBA says?
KMG, let me say good morning to your viewers. I also want to say happy birthday to my sister, Barbara Awobuafo. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Barbara. KMG, also, this is of great concern. But let me also add that today we are actually launching the National Apprenticeship Program in Tamale. And then we are going to have 300,000 young people, we are going to train them in artisanal skills. And so I'll encourage Ghanaians who are in Tamale and those who can go to Tamale to attend this program. For the past few days, we've been launching programs that will actually lead to the employment of our youth. A Jumara program that is also going to have 10,000 startups with targeted 20,000 jobs. So 10,000 startups, and then with a targeted 20,000 jobs for a Jumara program. The same for the Mahama case. Now, when you walk around, you hear people say Mahama case, because obviously the President Mahama has salary, yes, exactly, and actually encouraging you and I, not just him alone, but everybody, including my brother here in the movement, to also join in the support of the donating a bit or into the medical fund, Ghana Medical Fund, and so basically it has been a week of back to back focusing on the well-being of Ghanaians, and I will encourage Ghanaians to pray for us and support us in so that at least we end up rescuing perishing Ghanaians from their states now before we took over. KMG, this matter it is risible when it comes to the posture of GBA. The posture of GBA over the years has made some of us very tired about the way and manner they run their affairs. They are gradually becoming a wing of the NPP. This particular mid-conference that we had, as soon as I got a hint of the agenda, I didn't even step there, because I knew clearly that it was not about the well-being of lawyers, but to push a certain agenda, and that is worrying. Only 43 people. The number of lawyers, Ghana Bar Association has become like, by default, once you are called to the bar, and you are even paying for your license and all that, you end up paying for Ghana Bar Association dues just by default in the portal, right? Even though we have the right to association, the structure has done in such a way that you cannot even renew your license as a lawyer without paying your dues as a member of the Ghana Bar Association. and by default, you become a member of the Ghana Bar Association. But the Ghana Bar Association is not focusing on the well-being of lawyers, but is gradually becoming an NPP. Why am I saying that? Only 43 members, only 43 lawyers, over the many lawyers that are members of the association. Only 43 decided to vote and draft something like a so-called resolution in the name of association. I can tell you that a lot of lawyers are not in support of this. Most lawyers walked out the very moment this particular agenda was put on the table. Most lawyers walked out because GBA is not, Ghana Bar Association is not a political wing where it will be there interfering and be engaging in politics.
Is that what it's become?
That's what it is, because I'm also a lawyer, and I'm telling you, that's what it become, because over the years, before NDC came to power, GBA was very silent on a lot of issues, corruption issues. It got to a time even lawyers were reminding them that, look, GBA, you guys say something, be part of the conversation, right? They remained mute on this issue. Few days ago, the president of the Ghana Bar Association indicated that we should observe keenly the constitutional process of the removal of the Chief Justice. After that, just a few days later, you come with this resolution. First of all, a very, a first point, a stance in terms of what Ghanaians to do and what the lawyers are going to do in terms of observing the constitutional process. Then on the other hand, you are saying that we should cancel and revoke the suspension of Chief Justice. What at all is in Mrs. Tokonu that everybody, especially the NPP, are all in arms fighting against her removal. But I wish that was the same for Madam Senator to say. This was not the posture of this association, Ghana Bar Association, when it came to the removal of Madam Senator to say. What I thought is interested, and in any case, the Chief Justice is an acting Chief Justice. The judiciary is doing its work. It's as if there's no vacuum. So what I thought is the problem. The posture of the Ghana Bar Association is even the more reason why the Chief Justice will have to even be removed, so that we shall see what you can do. Because right now,
are we ready to get?
Oh, my brother, court action. Look, the very moment the issue of the removal of the Chief Justice came up, we saw a lot of NPP guys going to court to stop the removal. But you see, I kept on saying that, look, the Constitution is clear in terms of the removal of the Chief Justice. Once there has been no breach of the constitutional procedure in the removal of the Chief Justice, all these things they are saying is lawless and moot. If today a petition was written and the Chief Justice was not given the right to respond, and the Council of State was not even consulted, right, and a prima facie case had not been established, we will not be hearing issue of suspension. In any case, suspension doesn't mean sack. Suspension, which is standard procedure, if there's an allegation and you are in office, it is only proper that you are suspended so that you don't interfere in investigations. It doesn't mean you have been sacked. So once investigations is conducted and it is established that you are innocent, you will come back to your position. But this posture clearly means that there is more to the issue than what we know. Of course, I have read the petition. No, but the point is that I've read the petition, but we all know if you are a host here, God forbid, there are issues that you need to be investigated. It is by standard procedure. So don't come to the show again for this period. It doesn't mean you have been sacked. But you see, Ghana Bar Association, this posture is not grounded in law. In all the things they said in their, it is not grounded in law. You see, they forget that you are leading lawyers and senior lawyers for that matter. They know the law more than some of the leaders there. So you don't make it look like, what you say is not grounded in law. And I've never forgotten that there's only one law school in Ghana. We all went to the same law school. Of course, they are ahead of us. Some of them are ahead of us. Some of them are behind us. But we all went to the same law school. We are taught the same thing. And maybe the new laws that are... So what are you telling us that we don't know? It's not grounded in law. This attitude is an act of lawlessness. And that is why now you see lawyers calling for another association with the Law Society of Ghana. Because this attitude means that Ghana Bar Association is now becoming a wing of the NPP. And if you are if you're a lawyer and you are not interested in doing politics, right, and you're a member of the Ghana Bar Association, you will no more be interested in the activity of Ghana Bar Association. You will now be interested in the optimistic or the neutral posture of an association that at least when you go for your conferences and it's all about the well-being of the law, the judiciary, and as lawyers. That's not the case of GBA anymore. Unlike those days that when we are talking about Ghana Bar Association, I'm telling you, you know that yes, it is a place of pride. It's no more like that. That is why very soon I can tell Ghana Bar Association that if they do not pause in this posture they are treading, I can assure you them that there's going to be another association. And that association is already there. The Law Society of Ghana is already there.
But
it's already there.
You're a member of the Ghana Bar Association.
And I'm telling you that by default, once you are
you don't intend to be a member, but because...
Yes, I don't intend to be a member. I don't intend to be, but by default, you're a member. And I'm saying that you cannot even though they said, oh, well, you have the right to association, and that you can go and renew your license without being a member. It is not true. Even if it is true, it is given to the most senior lawyers, but as young lawyers, look, once you go to the portal to even renew your license is the Ghana Bar Association portal. You cannot even renew your license.
It makes you a member
automatically.
So it means that you remember.
Yeah, remember.
So the 43 people actually made that decision on your behalf.
43 people. Out of the 1,000 lawyers that and counting, over 1,000 lawyers, 43 people. 43 people, and every year.
It means that this reflects
you see.
Because you're a member.
I disassociate myself from this particular resolution. Have you seen that most lawyers are coming out to talk? The senior Tadiosori has spoken. Other senior lawyers, look, even the Deputy Attorney General is a lawyer. Because we are all members. A lot of lawyers who are not speaking maybe on TV. But if you go to their closet, they will tell you that they are not in favor of it because when it was time to pass this resolution, most of them walked out. Not every lawyer is interested in politics, but this posture of Ghana Bar Association is problematic.
Okay.
So now, I will tell you now, I want to tell you that in as much as you have said that I'm a member of the association, I'm telling you on this platform that I dissociate myself from this particular bogus resolution. Because this is not grounded in law. This is an act of lawlessness. And any lawyer who believes in the well-being of lawyers and the progress of the judiciary will not support the posture. Because what are you trying to tell the acting Chief Justice? Are you saying that the acting Chief Justice cannot perform the duties? Is the same? Are we not doing the same job? Is there a vacuum in terms of the fact that there's a suspension of Chief Justice? There's no vacuum. Everything is going on the way it must go on in terms of judiciary. So what is their problem? If what they are saying was grounded in law, that is fine. So far, they are now becoming a wing of the NPP. They are now becoming a Chobe group, where now we have just suspend. Okay. With no law which is grounded.
We'll take a look at that because you also will be aware that many of the associations, even when the NDC wasn't in power, were also making these arguments and some of these.
Which arguments?
The same thing that we're seeing right now, and they were also believed to have been NDC people. No, we'll look at that.
But come on. But Ghana Bar Association, they have remained silent.
I understand. No, I'm just opposing that to other associations.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you that the Ghana Bar Association... With regards to some of these things, because once you're in a position and any association decides that they want to move on any issue, people begin to make it look like, because they are not... Ask the Ghana Bar Association, ask them, when there were a litany of corruption activities under the Eswal Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, how many times did the Ghana Bar Association talk?
Okay, Richard.
Yeah.
Let me come to you. The Movement for Change actually released a statement in support of the suspension of the Chief Justice, and that is on the fact that it's legal and there's nothing untoward, and also advised this Council of State to actually do due diligence in executing the mandate that has been given to them, because that's where the president would make a decision from.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity once again. I would like to say good morning to your cherished viewers, to say good morning to Honorable John Kojo Chiromante. He's back to Ghana, and to the entire leadership of the Movement for Change. And I also want to state on record that the Movement for Change It's not a subsidiary of the NPP. It's not an offshoot of the NPP. Me, for once, I have never been a member of the NPP. We were all part of the people who were calling for change. We formed an alliance and we threw our weight behind Honorable John Kojo Kyeremanteng because we believe that a country such as Ghana cannot forever be led by this duopoly. It is never cast in stone that Ghana can only be governed by NPP or NDC. For now, they are the two major leading political parties in Ghana, but obviously nothing is in perpetuity. A time will come, is either NDC could fizzle out or NPP could fizzle out. Another formidable political organization can also be actively involved in issues of national interest. Now, to the substantive issue. We are fully committed to the fact that we must follow law, we must follow procedures, we must follow precedent. Now, why am I saying so? If you read the Article 146 of the Ghana Constitution, and even to the Clause 10 that the Ghana Bar Association is trying to leverage on, to say that the president is exercising his discretionary powers, therefore he should be able to provide certain further information as to how he's exercising that discretionary power, it is not grounded in law. You don't need to be a lawyer before you can read the law and interpret the law. There are people who have gone to court and defend themselves who have no knowledge about the law. It is about reading and understanding. Why am I saying so? The Movement for Change strongly believe that the John Mahama-led administration has not flouted the law. John Mahama is not the one who is saying that he has a personal beef or any challenge with the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice, in the framers of the Constitution's mind, they made the appointment of the Chief Justice a prerogative of the President. So that means the executive power is there, the judicial power is there, the legislative power is there, but we are running an executive-led government. That is the kind of system we are running in Ghana. Therefore, it is the President who appoints the Chief Justice, isn't it? And in the mind of the framers of the Constitution, they strongly believe that there can be an instance where you appoint a very nice, fine gentleman or lady to become the Chief Justice, and people can get corrupted by the virtue of the position they occupy. That is why the same Constitution goes further to outline that in the case that there is a need for a Chief Justice to be removed, this is the processes and these are the procedures. And we have been told that the primary factor is that someone somewhere must be the one, or a group of people somewhere must be the one to petition the president, telling the president that we have identified A, B, C, D in the performance of the duty of the Chief Justice, which we think contradicts the position given to her. Therefore, we are appealing to you to look into the matter and remove her or remove him. Now, the office of the Chief Justice is also a protected office, the same as the Electoral Commission's office is protected as an independent body of this country. Now, when it happened in the issue of the Electoral Commissioner, as we speak today, we don't know who the petitioners are. As we speak today, we don't really understand the integrities of the reason for which Charlotte Osei was removed. We have been told over and over that it is staffs of the EC who petitioned the president. When people actually stood against it and said, look, you will be remembered for as someone who actually removed the EC chair from office, what was the president telling her? He said it was just a conveyor belt. He only conveyed the message to the Council of State. Council of State looked into it, and by following the procedures, eventually a decision was made, and the lady was fired. So now, if the lady was fired in this case, and today, a Chief Justice has been appointed, and the same process of removing her has been triggered, and the president went further to follow all the due processes that have been stated in the law, why should the Ghana Bar Association be demanding the president to reinstate her or revoke the suspension? The Ghana Bar Association is not grounded in the Constitution. It is not an established association that is written in the 1992 Constitution of the country that Ghana Bar Association, this is your core mandate. Therefore, any issue of national interest, you can even counter the activities or the decision of the president. It is never stated anywhere. So now, if the Ghana Bar Association in previous issues has not been vociferous enough, they have not been articulative enough, they've not been at the forefront of discussing issues of national interest. They say what is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. So if you want to be a Ghana Bar Association, we expect you to be an equitable association of fair-minded people, association of people who follow issues but not follow groups or individuals. Now, why am I saying so? The Ghana Bar Association, when the issue of Charlotte Osei came, we never know their position up to date. We never know what they stood for. But eventually, Charlotte Osei was removed. So the movement for change, we are only saying that as Ghanaians, as people who are also mandated to contribute to the national conversation, we are of the view that the president has never erred. The president should be allowed to follow the due process. If, for instance, today the committee comes to say that the Chief Justice is actually cleared of all the allegations leveled against her, he has no choice than to reinstate her. But if you are quick enough to start drawing your own conclusion to the extent that you want to trigger a legal process against the activities of the executive power, then what kind of constitution are we running? Are we running an executive-driven constitution as it is enshrined in the law that all the powers are vested in the president? Or we are trying to shift away from that narrative and to say that the president no longer has that prerogative to take certain decisions. But when he takes certain decisions, a group of people can say we are taking him to court, we are doing this, then are we not trying to have a weak executive system? And if a president cannot be firm enough in his decisions, then he's not supposed to be a leader.
Are you disappointed that this is coming from the Ghana Bar Association?
Of course, I am disappointed because, like I said, precedent is very key. Precedent. And you see, we also have the court of public opinion. We also have a court of public opinion. There are people who are of the view that once you want to remain relevant, you want to remain as the neutral arbiter, when issues of national interest comes up, you can be seen as the people who can speak and everybody will accept what you are saying, hook, line, and sinker. Then you must be fair and you must be consistent.
They've not been fair.
They have not been fair and they have not been consistent. That is why the movement of change is asking them, on what grounds are they saying that the president don't have the right to do what he is doing? Has the president flouted the law? No.
Well, they mentioned that the prima facie there should be some, expressions
That's
of
what we are saying,
whatever anybody has sent them. Those information are supposed to be out there for people to know.
No, what I'm saying.
They also talked about the reenactment of that regulation as well.
What I'm saying is that.
Yeah.
Has the president erred in any way?
That's what they think.
It is their opinion. It is not the Ghana Bar Association. It's not Ghana. Ghana Bar Association is not a representative of the entire country.
But they form a huge part of the judicial service.
That is why I'm saying that they are judiciary, but that doesn't mean that they are the most intelligent group of people in this country. That doesn't mean so. You can be a lawyer, but that doesn't mean you are a repository of wisdom and knowledge. That doesn't mean so.
They don't have to come up with their own interpretation of the law and how procedural.
They can. The same way everybody else can come up with this interpretation of the law. So it's movement for change.
Exactly, and that's what they believe that the president has had in these things that he mentioned.
It is them against the rest. It is the Ghana Bar Association against the rest. Is everybody in Ghana saying that the president has erred? Or the president don't have the right to follow constitutional processes or procedures that are outlined in the Constitution? That in the case of removing a Chief Justice, these are the processes you must follow. Has he followed it? Has he taken any dictatorship decision that he sat in his office and decided that this is what he wants to do? No. You see, we are all trying to build a country. So we shouldn't create the impression that others are better than others. We are not trying to create any hegemony anywhere. There must be free and fair society. But when you make the situation look like others are above the rest, then you are creating a wrong impression.
Okay, Rich.
So if Chief Justice...
Land for me.
if Chief Justice can be removed, the Constitution clearly states the processes. The same way the Constitution states clearly, if you want to remove the Electoral Commissioner, they followed it through and they removed her. So if today it is the turn of the Chief Justice and somebody is saying that they have received 3 different petitions that suggest that let us remove her and look into the matter, what prevents the president from doing so?
Okay, that's Richard Suma for me this morning here. And Awal Mohammed is also here as well. You can also send your messages and let us know what you think about the issue we're discussing right now. Ghana Bar Association is asking the president to revoke the suspension of the Chief Justice. He faces the issue of courts threats if he's not able to do so. Now, the coming days will determine if indeed they're going to take this issue to the courts or not. But as it stands right now, this is where we are. And we'd like to say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phones, Papa Pathi, News Flash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, many people believe that the Ghana Bar Association has been biased. Now, in previous administration, the NPP administration, a lot of issues like these actually happened. The Ghana Bar Association were very mute. Now, they believe that coming out to speak right now is more or less as you associating yourself to the NPP. Is that the case?
Thank you so much. Good morning to our cherished viewers and good morning to my brothers. And I'm sorry for coming in late today.
It's fine.
Yes.
Oh, see, Richard. Oh, last week you did better. You did better last week.
The Ghana Bar Association, as my brother Richard wants to bastardize, and my brother...
I'm not bastardizing them.
Gideon is sitting here quietly looking at him.
I'm not bastardizing them.
This is a group of about 6,000 lawyers across the country.
Not bastardizing them at all.
6,000 lawyers across the country. And they have conferences that they go, and they have a midterm conference. So what happened 3 days ago or 4 days ago is not something that was convened. It was not an executive decision. It's a resolution passed by the 6,000 members. What are you
on their behalf, because they were not all in presence.
Whether you attended, you were invited. They invited 6,000 lawyers across the country for that, and they knew of the event. And those who attended took the decision on
their behalf of those others that didn't make it.
So, for instance, you invited the 3 of us here. If I do not show up, you still go on with the program. It doesn't mean that because I didn't show up, the program must be stopped. You understand? So this
in terms of what happens, the conversation that goes on,
yes,
your take will not be counted.
So I'm coming.
In the example that you're given.
Yes, so I'm coming.
So whether you believe in whatever the 2 of them said or not,
yes,
taking it on your behalf.
So, but if you see what they did not do anything illegal. They invited everyone, including my brother, for that conference. And they knew beforehand that there would be a midterm conference. And some of them decided not to attend. Those who attended passed a resolution. And in the resolution, they enumerated a number of issues, including Galamsey. And Ghana Bar Association has been at this for a longer time, not today. But you see, if something happened yesterday and Ghana Bar Association did not comment on it, that doesn't mean that if today something illegal is happening, they shouldn't even talk about it. Again, it is not everything that they must have opinion on. Because if you look at the removal of Charlotte Osei, my brother is saying that he has not heard. He doesn't even know why she was removed. I am surprised. But you see, my problem is that I'm not surprised at the position of the movement for change. Trust me, KMJ, a lot of them will want to return back to the NPP.
Richard mentioned that
they cannot because they've bent a lot of bridges. There is no single day that the NPP will take any decision that they will back it. They will still be with the NDC and still attack us. There is no single day that Richard will come here and even attack the sitting government or even take on the sitting government. He will still take on the party in opposition. So I'm not surprised. When I saw their statement, I didn't even take time to even read it because I think that it will still be what the NDC thinks. That's what, you see, the Ghana Bar Association passed two rules. They said what the president did was an illegality. They quoted the relevant portions and they said that the prima facie case that was established should be made public. Because you see, in good conscience, whoever reads the petitions and the responses, and you are told that they could find prima facie case in that petition and the response, you'll be surprised. I think that's the reason the Ghana Bar Association is telling you that. Publish it. KMJ, no one will tell you, don't be deceived that the Council of State is not partisan. It's a partisan institution now. They are 32, right? Out of the 32, 16 elected, the rest appointed by the president. The only person who is not partisan is the president of the House of Chiefs. He's the only person who is not partisan there. Look at even those elected. If we were to pick them one after the other, we will unmask all of them.
The Council of State?
Yes.
They are all NDC?
Majority of them. Majority. 16, even out of the 16 elected, 2 are executives of the NDC. Upper West is a sitting vice chairman of the NDC. Ashanti region, when the elections was held, we discussed it here, there was chaos. The KMA boss, Zuba, brought in his boys to disrupt the process when Boadu Ayeboafo was winning, for them to go and get back so that they could elect the former regional chairman as Council of State rep. So if you have this group of people at
It predicts the outcome of the Chief Justice.
Even if you look at the appointment by President Mahama, those who even have automatic entry, there's a former IGP, former Chief Justice, former CDS, and so on. The former Chief Justice, we have an Inyabwa. But because his views are not tilted, they think that the views are not tilted towards NDC. They appointed was the Sophia Akufu. So it tells you that the Ghana Bar Association, whoever reads it, you don't even need to be a lawyer. After reading all the petition and reading all the responses, for anyone to sit somewhere and say that there is prima facie case, there is something to be answered in that petition, it's something else.
It is believed that they are fighting for the NPP. They are doing the work of the NPP.
You see, I have seen a lot of people, I have not seen Gideon do that, on Facebook, publish the picture of the first female president of the Ghana Bar Association. That's Joe Gade's wife. They said, they published a picture that she was standing at a political campaign with her husband. So automatically she's an NPP person. You don't even need to be an NPP person or NDC to be able to be president.
But they believe that during your time, they were not vociferously speaking like the way they are doing now.
You remember Neil Samuels?
Yeah.
In 2007, 2008, the way he attacked the Kufuor government, after that he was appointed a minister. He was elected when he was even an NDC person, a non-NDC person. There was nothing wrong with that. Sam Okujeto was elected in the 90s when he had even served jail by the Rawlings government. But they elected him because they felt that we need someone who is competent. So Joe Gade's wife being the president of the Bar Association doesn't have any effect on the decision taken by them because she has only a vote. And they pass a resolution. This is something that we've been saying over time, that the president should have even waited. He should have even waited until the 6th May decision is out. Then you go ahead to appoint someone who has a petition around his neck by some chiefs within the Ghana traditional area that he should even be removed as Supreme Court judge. Justice Mamman, you appoint him as the chair. And we all knew Justice Mamman's view. We all knew his views in this country before he was appointed. He was a sitting general secretary of PNC. And he was working for President Mahama at that time. All his views, we have the videos. You can go online and watch his views those days when he was general secretary of the PNC. Then you appointed Professor Gisa, who is the Tain patron at University of Ghana. Then you have Domelovo, who had a brush with the judiciary. And we all know where his views are tilted towards and so on. So clearly you could see that it's a trump-up charges to just remove that woman. You see, the problem we are having is not about the CJ, her name, Justice Tokono. It's about the institution. When you meet the NDC people of air, the NDC lawyers, when you meet them off air, they tell you that they are not happy with the way the executive will want to manipulate the judiciary. We have only 3 arms of government. The 3 arms of government, executive and legislature, is partisan, but the judiciary is not partisan. So today, if you remove her, as Gideon Tettey Tetteh said she must be removed, as Mustafa Bandi said it on this platform that she must be removed, if you remove her, are you bringing someone who is an NDC person? Are you changing all the judges in this country that you have all the rulings go in your favor? So is this the case that if any government comes, we have to change the judiciary? What are you doing to that institution? You are destroying it. Because anything that we politicians will touch, there is the highest possibility that that place will not be. So I think that it's not really about that office. That office, this is the first time in the Fourth Republic that a president is attempting to remove the Chief Justice. This is the second time in the history of this country when Nkrumah removed the Chief Justice unilaterally. So that is the reason we're talking about. If you equate it with Charlotte Osei, it doesn't gel. Because looking at the offices, on the 6th of January, she was the only person left in this country before the handing over. You have the president, the Speaker of Parliament, then you have the Chief Justice. Do you equate that office with the Shiraj boss or Charlotte Osei? Charlotte Osei, we all know the reasons. She and her deputies were accusing each other. The stories are on my jaw online. She said that the late Amadou Sule took 5 million from the NDC to do illegal transfers for them. Georgina Opoku-Amankwa said that she had turned herself into procurement boss to the extent that she was calling companies for the companies to come and bid for contracts.
So the removal of the Charlotte Osei was justified.
You could see, it was even misconduct.
As against what we're seeing
so
right now.
You being the leader, you being the leader of this morning show, then you start accusing your co-hosts and some producers that they are doing this, then they also accuse you of doing this. Do you think this program can go on? That was what happened with Charlotte Osei. And when the prima facie case was established, it was established that she did some procurement breaches of over 16. She admitted to a lot of them and said that she didn't know that it was a mistake. She's a lawyer. She previously served as NCCE boss before she was appointed at that place. Even her appointment from moving from NCC to Electoral Commission was problematic because they were all at par looking at their position and so on. So for Charlotte Osei, if you talk about the removal of Charlotte Osei and you equate it to this one, it doesn't gel because this office is higher than all the offices that exist in this country, apart from the office of the president and that of the
vice president?
No, the speaker, because they are at par.
Yeah. We'll get some messages, we'll read some messages, and then we'll maybe, we need to move on to our next conversation. But let me do some messages. I'm sure the messages may trigger some of the issues that we've spoken about here. Some responses made, and then we can go on. Can I have the messages for that? You can also send us your messages on WhatsApp. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're grateful to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning for those flash here on Prime Morning. Now, whilst I'm getting the messages, do I have the messages now? Okay.
I wanted to add a comment.
No, let me finish with a few of the messages and I'll come back to you. I'm sure.
I know
some of
you've written a lot.
We'll
I'll also come back.
We'll try and get some of the messages, but we'll also be looking at the issue of Galamsey, and I'm sure you are aware that the Ghana Bar Association actually also spoke on the issue of Galamsey as well. You know, I'm not too sure about what my people will say about that, but we'll get into that when we get to the issue of Galamsey and what they think the president is supposed to be doing in earnest. We'll look at that as well. Now, there are some lawyers that have spoken with the issue of the CJ suspension. Yesterday, we heard about the Director of Legal, NDC, spoke about it as well. Now, in his own words, he said the Ghana Bar Association allowed the Congress to be hijacked by former Deputy Attorney General Diana Asonaba Dapa for the adoption of these resolutions. It should not get engaged in such hypocritical acts. This was Edgy speaking on that issue as well. Maybe you want to.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
Now,
just like you mentioned that many lawyers do not agree with.
Exactly.
And you've disassociated yourself
let
from
me tell you,
the resolutions.
Despite some of us having political colors, right, it doesn't mean all lawyers are interested in the politics.
Yeah.
My brother was talking about the fact that, mid-year conference, we invite. It's true, we invited. When we go for bar conference, we don't go there to go and discuss politics. We discuss the well-being as lawyers and what we can do for Mother Ghana.
So this is the first of its kind?
No, this is not the first, but I'm trying to tell you that.
In terms of the political line,
the ultimate goal when they call for conferences is not to discuss politics. Because there are many lawyers who are not interested in politics. They are only interested in the profession and the well-being of the profession and what we can do for the country.
Is it not because the nature of this issue, because the CJ's opposition, like we all know,
but I'm trying to tell you that
it's one of the serious positions in the country.
Exactly. But the point is that if we knew that the agenda is to pass resolution, I'm not sure that conference will come off. Because we all know that when, as a lawyer, you go for conference, right, it's not about the politics, it's about your well-being as lawyers.
So when you're going for these conferences, usually is that what happens? They tell you, okay, on the agenda we'll be looking at ABC.
You see, the point is that, that's what I'm telling you, that the ultimate goal for conferences by the Ghana Bar Association is usually for the well-being of lawyers as lawyers and what we can do for Mother Ghana.
So usually when you are going, before you go, they give you the agenda. No. So you are aware what you are coming. I'm asking because I don't know.
They don't provide the agenda, but all the time it is mostly about the well.
So you already have an idea of what is going to be discussed.
Conferences. This is the conferences. So when you go there, is it that you are going for? Maybe someone has come to teach you how to develop your skills and all that. So you see that the interest is there. That is why I'm telling you that when it was time for this resolution, a lot of people walked out. That's why we only have 43. He's not a lawyer, so I'm telling you.
That's what happened.
Yes, a lot of people walked out. Because after all the things were discussed, which everybody was interested in, when it was time for resolution, it was left with only 43 people. It doesn't mean that the only 43 was the top, but some people opposed, right? But the opposition were few because most people decided not to even vote. Most also walked out. Now look, government is not bound to publish the prima facie case. Government is not bound. If they call to publish, that is fine, it's a call. But government is not bound to publish that prima facie case. Now, also, it is not true, and has already been established, in court, the Ransford France case, that you don't always need to have a regulation in terms of discretionary power. The court themselves decided Ransford France is there.
Well, they're asking the president to reenact one now.
You see, and I'm saying it. All the lawyers, lawyers who know of this have also opined in terms of this issue. You don't always need regulation in terms of exercise. And in this issue, it's an administrative act. So I told you, suspension doesn't mean sack. Suspension there ought to be an investigation. You cannot be in office and be running your position as Chief Justice while there's investigation about you. It doesn't run anywhere. Which office, which institution do you hear that even if you are innocent, you cannot be made to be in the position that they claim that you have done? It is alleged. Don't forget that all these things that we are talking about, they are all allegations. Even though the prima facie case has been established, it doesn't mean that the prima facie case has been established now and now investigations are ongoing. It doesn't mean you are guilty. But because of the likelihood of interfering in investigations, you have been suspended. It doesn't mean sacked. I don't know why it has become like we've sacked her. We've not sacked you. It's just once investigations are done and it is realized that the allegations are untrue, you go back to the office.
Okay.
Why? No. The issue of Council State. And what is even making me laugh? Is this the way Council State is formed? Is it outside our national constitution? I'm asking you. How is
the way the current one is formed,
how is it formed generally? Is it outside the national constitution? No. So what is talking about? And so what? It is within the powers of the... I'll
come to Richard.
Is saying that President Akufo-Addo, in his power, didn't he also appoint people? The father is appointed by the father.
Who were NPP, because it means that majority were NDC.
But the point is that
is his argument.
But the point is that even if they were NPP, was it not within the powers of the president to appoint people by the powers of the national constitution? He was within his powers. What is he talking about?
But I have not said it.
So no. I'm trying to tell you that whatever I'm saying is moot, because whatever was done about the formation of Council of State is within the powers of the president, same as the procedure in the removal of Chief Justice. Look, as we speak, nobody has said that the constitutional procedure in removing the Chief Justice has been breached. Nobody has said it. Nobody has spoken about the, because when you open and you say, ask Mike, you don't have to be a lawyer to know. When you open the constitution and you start taking the boxes, step 1, step 2, petition has been written. Step 2, refer to Council of State. Step 3, prima facie case established. Step 4, may be suspended. So the procedure has been following step by step. What's the problem? Osam Mills issue that he's talking about. Does he know that Osam Mills was actually removed as GBA president for offering to provide, for going to the visit Taju Chikata, in prison and provide legal counsel? Does he know that Osam Mills was removed as GBA?
Yes, I know.
So don't make it look like...
I know.
You didn't mention that one.
Okay.
No, but I told you that he was attacking the before government.
Let me do this message and then I'll get a few messages and then we'll come back.
Don't pick and choose.
I mentioned that Osamuels was elected as an NDC president. That was what I said.
He was removed because it was seen that he became
excessively partisan. Let me do this. Gideon, I've given you enough time. Gideon.
Some of us are not happy with the post.
Let us also have our take.
Let me do it. So I'll start off with the messages with this one from Honorable Timothy Atabode, and he says that just heard a while ejecting this morning that charges against the CG trumped up charges. If indeed the charges are trumped up, it will fail. Why is a while NPP and the bar become spokespersons? Indeed, wonders shall never end. It really amazes me and amuses me to stop. I don't think the NPP and its cohorts are legally bringing that. Professor Kweku Azar, Chachu, just to mention a few. And it goes on, it says no one can remove the CJ if indeed the charges are trumped up as stated by Awa. What are their fears? NPP can't be apostles of good governance. The NPP have woefully and absolutely failed the good governance test. All right.
Let me go on some of the messages now.
Has he been appointed? Oh, Honorable Atabu.
Yeah.
Not yet. Let me do some messages. And, this one says that, good morning, KMJ and your panelists. The GBA has its integrity, and they should make any mistake to let the new poison party interfere in their activities to tarnish their image. Jogati's wife is using her power to influence the GBA, and if they don't condemn it, they would surely regret it one day. They are interrupting the show. Okay, that's your message over there. Master Planner is here, and it says that, see how my brother Gideon is struggling to explain this issue. He go explain Taya. If President Mahama sacks the Chief Justice based on these 3 frivolous petitions, we will also send a petition to impeach him as a president. He would also be suspended as president for investigation. The laws of this country will be applied applicably, and Ghana is not a banana republic. He should focus on how to stop Galamsey, Tumso, and cocaine transshipment in Ghana. These are the reasons Ghanaians voted him, and that's Master Planner on that. This one over here says, good morning, KMJ. Please, I want you to tell Awal Mohammed for me that he should always remember that he's a Muslim wherever he is on air, and what the Islamic teaches us in his pronouncements. KMJ, can Awal give us the names of those the president can appoint to Council of State? Chief Mohammed from Lima sent in that one. This one is from Ibobuatin from Nerebehi, and it says, well done, Ghana Bar Association, for showing solidarity with the Chief Justice. Protest against the removal of the Chief Justice because it's the worst decision ever in the history books of Ghana. Greetings to Chairman Owusu Bampa and Shayeso. Ibobuatin sent in that. Let me go to this one over here, and it says that KMJ, the Bar Association should go to hell. The Chief Justice will be sacked, so they shouldn't worry themselves. That's Robert Jackson from Cape Coast. All right, let me go to the next one over here. It says, KMJ, I wonder why GBA and NPP are taking serious discussion this CJ issues allowed Malam Mahama and his party continues to remove his agenda is to change the constitution and go for the next election in 2028. However, it will pave the way that anytime the power change, all appointments made by John Mahama are going to be removed, so he can go ahead and do it. And that's from Kwakubako Jr. Manso Mensentin, that one. Let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ and your panelists. I'm Big Alasko from Garu, Timpani. I want to know from the NPP people, what are they afraid of if the CJ is removed? I think they want some favor from the CJ, as they will be flooded in court soon. What is good for the ghost is equally good. What is good for the... It's not supposed to be a ghost, please. That's an NPP. Never again. All right, so... let me move on. This one over here from Meshach Asante in Asamankes, and it says, President Mahama has done it again. Okay, I think that one is over here. Okay. Hey, Asembeba Debi, NPP's Thanksgiving tour has now turned into fighting tour, where insult and pointing fingers to each other has become order of the day. The camp of Dr. Baumia has intentionally planned to use people like Abronye to provoke Honorable Kennedy Japan publicly in order to expose his uncontrollable quick temper to the party delegates, so that his chances of becoming flag bearer for the party will be stopped now. And that is what they sought to achieve when they went on Bono region Thanksgiving in Ponyo primaries to elect flag bearer the EAP. So Meshach sent in that one as well. Now this one over here says that, good morning, KMJ. The removal of the CJ is purely political. As a nation, we cannot sit and watch our hard-earned fought democracy thrown into the gutter. The president and his party, NDC, openly stated their intentions to sack CJ and some Supreme Court judges. These comments were made publicly pro to 2024 election. They are of the view that the previous government have packed the courts. The question is do they meet the required qualification to be appointed as judges? We cannot fall silent nor lose our voices to this scheme. overt to serve power rather than the rule of law. The removal of the Chief Justice cannot be compared to that of the CJ, and that is the EC chair. This is a case of one arm of government pushing to remove another arm of government. Professor Mills, as president, stayed away from this very act. All right, so it goes on and on and on, and those are some of the messages that you have sent. We're grateful to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. Now, we'll do a wrap on this very issue and we'll move on. You have just 1 minute to do so. Richard, you have 1 minute to do so. You have 1 minute as well. We have to go to the issue of Galamsey.
Sincerely, I wasn't bastardizing the Ghana Bar Association. It's a professional body of learned people, so obviously they deserve some respect. All I'm trying to say is that we live in a country where several issues have unfolded in the past. And if Ghana Bar Association want to position themselves as neutral arbiters, then they should be doing that across the board. They shouldn't be picking and choosing what pleases them to talk about. In the past, we've all know that President Mahama has always been tagged or many institutions attempt to gag him. They normally don't want to give him the room to operate as a president. Why are we saying so? Movement for Change, if they do anything wrong that we need to criticize, we will criticize. If they do the right thing and we need to support them, we will support them. The point is that we are building a country, and it must be a collective responsibility of all of us to build it together. And then again, like I keep saying, that the framers of the Constitution, if not so, they should have written it in black and white, that the Chief Justice office is a no-no area for anybody to attempt to remove him or her. It should be established so that we know that this is a protected office. It's a separate arm of government, isn't it? We say we have 3 arms of the government: the judiciary, legislature, and the executive. So if the framers of the Constitution, in their mind of mind, know very well that is 3 arms of government and none must interfere in the work of the other, then it must be written in black and white that the office of the Chief Justice, nobody can remove him or her until retirement or until death.
Okay.
But if that is not the reason, and the Constitution gives room for her removal or his removal in the unlikely event that any issue of suspicion arises in her discharge or his discharge of her duties, these are the processes to follow in removing such a person. Where has the president erred?
Okay. Let me go to Awal. Awal, you can also do 1 minute for me and then we'll move on.
That they went there just to discuss politics. They went there to do their usual things they do. At the end of every conference, they come up with resolutions on the things that are happening within this country. Listen, the theme of that conference that they went is that expanding the role of legal profession in the national development, positioning the GBA as the fulcrum. After that, they passed a number of resolutions. They spoke about 4 or 5 things before in the resolutions. One is about Boko crisis.
Yeah, Boko.
How is that politics?
Galamsey was in there.
How is that politics? Galamsey, how is that politics? Suspension of the CJ. You are calling it politics because your national chairman has sat to say that the woman must go. Your deputy general secretary has sat to say that. So it means you held a meeting as national executives and came up with a resolution that the CJ must be removed. Our problem is that we don't want a situation whereby tomorrow you go to the court and you know that I am going to face Gideon because Gideon has been put there by the NDC to do the work of the NDC. How do you dispense justice in this country? Someone raised an issue here in one of the texts. He said, one day you hear that there is prima facie case against President Mahama. Then he's suspended. How? You hear that there is a prima facie against Speaker of Parliament. Then he's suspended. That is the reason the Bar Association is saying that the president, what he did was unconstitutional. They mentioned it. They said it is unconstitutional for the president to do that, so he should reverse
This one, will you show which place is constitutional?
Okay, so let me read from what they said. But let me read from what they said. Because these are lawyers.
Go ahead.
In good standing.
Yeah,
They are saying the Chief Justice, the Ghana Bar Association called for the immediate revocation of the suspension of the Chief Justice. That is considered the suspension to be unconstitutional, considering the fact that the President, who is not a judge or a judicial officer, exercises discretion to suspend the Chief Justice under Article 14610 of the 1992 Constitution in absence of the published constitutional instrument, statutory instrument, or regulations governing the exercise of the said discretion.
And I'm saying
this is what they
you don't. France has
again.
There has been
when you have
in court.
Let me just end.
That you don't need to establish a regulation.
Let me just end.
For everything.
Let me end. So when you tell me, when a lawyer who is the director legal for the NDC is telling us that he did not go to the conference, but from his information, it was manipulated by Dina Asonabadapa. You know that you have lawyers. You have even NDC lawyers that went into a conference when President Mahama told you before elections that when I come, I'll remove the Chief Justice and give you opportunities to be judges.
Who said that?
President Mahama.
When did he say that?
Atakosombo.
He never said that.
What did he say?
He never said that.
What did he say? What did he say? There is a video.
What video?
You have it.
There was never.
When the president. I'm saying
there was never.
We saw the video.
Akosombo. He never even came there physically. There was never.
There was a video. When did he say that?
We all know that video conducted. There was never a time when
he said they should prepare.
You don't remember what exactly he said.
No, what did he say? They should prepare to take
about removal of Chief Justice. He never said that you remove the Chief Justice and all those.
Okay. Nice. So did he say? Did he say that you should prepare to be appointed as judges?
Why we say that? Let's make some progress. Let's make some progress.
You are done. I was even the one on floor, and he interjected.
I want to tell Awa. I like the angle he says that when you are going to court and you see the president appoints some judges. It shouldn't be that as Ghanaians you are going there with the perception that this judge was appointed by this president. How many judges was appointed by President? How many judges? One of them was even a former parliamentary candidate in the voter region, whole area. He's a justice of the Supreme Court. So what are you talking about? You see, that is why you'll be worried, because for us, I don't see why this should be an issue. A petition, as a Ghanaian, petitions have been written. It has been given to the Chief Justice to write her response. Prima facie case has been established. She has only been suspended. She has not been sacked. I don't know why it has become a noise in this country where people. And you know what? The NPP wings and apparatus are making
the suspension. The aspect of suspension is actually also the aspect of the suspension also grounded in the Constitution.
I don't know what
it is actually grounded. So they shouldn't say that it is unconstitutional for suspension.
Let's move on.
Decided by the court has indicated that you don't need regulation all the time.
In the issue of Galamsey, this is what the Bar Association actually said. And they say, acknowledging the grave threat that illegal mining activities Galamsey pose to Ghana's environment, water bodies, farmlands, and public health, the Ghana Bar Association unequivocally condemns the ongoing Galamsey activities across the country and calls for immediate, decisive, and sustained action by all arms of government, law enforcement agencies, and relevant stakeholders to eradicate the menace. Urges the judiciary to prioritize and expedite the hearing of Galamsey-related cases, ensuring that offenders are held accountable in accordance with the law without fear or favor. Now, speaking about accountability, yesterday we learned that at the Forestry Commission, there has been some excavators that have been seized, and some individuals, unknown individuals, came there and picked about 5 of them. Now, we're not too sure where exactly they were taking it to until yesterday we learned that the mayor of Kumasi, Mr. Honorable Richard Bodi, actually instructed that those equipment were taken to a different place for a work that says, according to him, it was for the benefit of the people of Kumasi. Now, legally, that can be a very serious issue because these are evidence that have been captured, in that place. So if you're moving it away, in what capacity are you moving those equipment? Richard, I would like to start with you.
Well, these are some of the issues that we will want to see Ghana Bar Association actively participating in, because this is a national disaster issue where posterity's life is at risk. The generation that are coming after us, their life is actually at risk. The future is being jeopardized because of the state at which Galamsey is destroying. As for the forest, like I keep saying, if it is just about the forest, we don't really have an issue. We can go for land reclamation and all these things. But to the extent where it is not only the forest, but our water bodies are being destroyed with impunity, everybody has to be on the table, all hands on desk. Now, this issue of machines being moved from one jurisdiction to another, the mayor is saying that it was supposed to be moved to go and perform a duty that is in the interest of the people of Kumasi. It is wrong. The machines are not state properties. It's not part of the drip equipment. The drip equipments are there. And I'm sure Ashanti region has its fair share of the drip equipment. So if you want to do anything that is in relation of you using heavy-duty machineries to perform those tasks, you go for the drip equipment. You see, corruption begins like this. If not, that alarm was raised by the commissioners, and this and that and that. All you know is that they'll say the machines have disappeared. They will not tell you where it went. But because
Engineer Shibe mentioned the same thing during his interview.
Yes, it's happened in the NPP.
It wasn't for the fact that
it's happened in the NPP era, where up to now, or I don't know whether the machines have been found anyway, but we all heard it during the Professor Frimpong era that machines got missing, excavators got missing. It is the same attempt that has started, just that the voices were too loud that the machines had to be brought back. And also don't forget, in the statement they say, order from above, that they should move it. And then another order from above, that they should return them. This order from above, whoever is that order from above, we must fight him and constrain his powers. Because we cannot be living in a country where every day order from above, then you do A, order from above, you do B. So we are asking them that any machine that has been seized from a Galamsey should be kept, it should be protected. If they have destroyed the land, you can sell off those machines to reclaim the land. Or it should be public knowledge that this quantum of machines have been seized. Therefore, we are using them for these purposes, A, B, or C. The entire country should be made aware about it. But all of a sudden, you said, we have seized them, and it is now being used by a private individual. Whether you are a mayor or whatever, you are using it for a purpose that it is not an official purpose. You now come and tell us that it is meant to serve the people of Kumasi. I disagree with that. So we are encouraging the Ghana Bar Association that look into issues that has a dire consequences on posterity than picking and choosing on issues that don't really matter. So we support the call for us to continue the fight against Galamsey. But I also want to state on record that the approach of the John Mahama-led government to combating Galamsey is not different from what Nana Akufo-Addo-led government did. Therefore, I am of the view that we are not going to win this war against Galamsey if the approach remains the same. So I am urging the NDC government should look at an alternative means of solving the Galamsey problem. Because you cannot be doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So if this is the approach, then we from the Movements for Change, we beg to differ. And again, we are of the view that any machine seized, there should be a proper inventory. A proper inventory. And there should be a specific location where all these machineries will be kept. So now, if today any journalist want to see that 20 machines have been confiscated and they actually park at, let's say, a National Security Secretariat in Ashanti region, National Security Secretariat in Western region, therefore, when you want to see this machine, go here, they are readily available for you to see. So be it.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. Let me move on, and let me come to Gideon. I will have the last take for us, and then we'll be done on
Then we are dead.
Supposed to.
But I kept quiet whilst you were
talking. By 45.
I didn't
I want to comported himself. I want to comported himself very well, and I expect that from any of you when he's talking. So, but is this worrying for the NDC to deal with? Individuals from your party have been mentioned severally when it comes to Galamsey, the issue of Galamsey. It's like the president moves 2 steps and then they drag him back 3 steps.
Well, I think that this issue of missing was addressed by the mayor himself.
He did,
yes.
But legally he was wrong.
Yes.
Because these are evidence, and you tampering with them, using it for any other does not justify whatever you want to do. Use it for.
Yes.
It's illegally wrong.
And I think that. Apart from that, he also
apologized. Yes. In fact, Engineer Shibe wanted them removed, including the minister, the regional minister.
Yes. But you see,
they have apologized.
Once you see, when you don't show remorse about a wrongdoing, then that is when it means that you have no regrets of what you have done. But good leadership is when you have identified or there's an issue and you show remorse. It means that you are showing good leadership. Now look, the fight against Galamsey, as we have told you, as President Mahama has indicated, is a fight that it cannot be, the fight is not just one-off, but it's going to be a continuous fight to make sure that it is eradicated once and for all. We cannot say that we are fighting it today and that forever we will not fight it again. And that is why we have done it. Now look at it. Even the issue of Akunta mining and the things that, we all know that is owned by Chairman Wontumi and all that. And the fact that even a press conference was organized in terms of, polluting our water bodies and all that. You see the actions that we have taken. I believe that the fight against Galamsey must be an all-inclusive matter, and we have always said that. We cannot see that, nobody can see that the NDC has not fought Galamsey. Don't mind, we are in the 4th month of government. So far, we have done everything possible to ensure that, the fight against Galamsey is reduced. Unlike the NPP, where even the regional, the regional chairman that's the chairman of AWA, we all know that he was openly, and it was a known fact that he engaged in Galamsey and he was proud about it. That is not the case for the NDC. We are still committed to fight Galamsey. But what I want to put on the table is that I don't expect the NPP, the way he's writing busily, I don't expect the NPP to just begin to engage in cacophonies when we have spent 4 months in power. We have 4 years. We have started on a good note. Issue of missing excavators. You don't see any of us defending that the excavators are missing. Quickly, remorse has been shown. So it means that they have accepted that shouldn't have been the case. They have shown remorse, and the fight against Galamsey still continues. But KMG, what I want to wrap up is about the posture of GBA. As lawyers, in as much as some of us are partisan, when we go for such conferences, we want to take off our political clothing and look at the future or welfare as lawyers. If the Ghana Bar Association begins to focus on people's personal interests or partisan matters, if they are not careful, it will be the beginning of another society where lawyers who are not even partisan will want to join that association because we will not be there engaging in partisan politics or trying to do somebody's personal interest.
Okay.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed.
Great.
GBA must quickly disembark this posture of always being interfering or trying to be partisan in issue, because it's going to affect us as lawyers.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much, Gideon. Let me move on to our you have a last take for us. You've got about 5 minutes to do this.
Yeah, so KMJ, I'm reading from My Joy Online, and this is a direct rotation. Our lawyers, some of you must be prepared to go onto the bench. I know that some of you have very lucrative legal practice. You will not want to leave and go to the bench. But you can see that the current president has done. He appointed the largest number of judges onto the bench, more than 80 towards 100 and counting. This is what President Mahama said.
This is on My Joy Online.
Yes, My Joy Online.
And he stated that.
Mahama.
He stated
Where's the recording?
And you see, fortunately...
Where's the recording?
You said it's not...
Charlie, let's be serious.
And I'm quoting from My Joy Online. Fortunately, you have...
My Joy Online is credible.
It's still on My Joy Online.
Did we say we're going to...
But I want to be sure. No, I want to be sure what is there.
Still on My Joy Online.
You ask me for the voice.
Still on My Joy Online. Mahama's balancing judiciary appointment, comment fair and objective.
Did he say he was removing Chief Justice?
So that is one.
That's what you said.
Two is that...
Are you checking?
He's checking.
Yes. Yeah. Did you say he was removing Chief Justice?
He will balance it, and you people should be appointed as judges.
Is it the same as removing a Chief Justice?
But did I say that only?
No, it's not. It's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not sure that is what you were.
You said the orchestration to remove the Chief Justice started at Akosombo. He told you.
He mentioned was very categorical about the Chief Justice.
So I'm coming.
But this
that's exactly words
that he put out there.
But the national chairman too is not exactly.
Charlie, let's be serious.
But I'm talking about the one that you mentioned that he made a categorical statement on that issue.
On Galamsey.
Yeah.
Especially Ashanti region. When I heard this, I laughed. When I heard that Zuba ordered that they should release the excavators,
I 5 of them.
I said, this is a repeat of what happened in 2016. In 2016, some excavators of Aisha Juan was seized around the Bipo Tintin. The person who seized it was Enokensia, the regional security liaison officer. He was removed, and the excavators were sent back to her. Enokensia was removed by President Mahama as regional security liaison officer because he antagonized Aisha Juan. Ashanti region. Ashanti region. You understand? So I am not surprised that they are saying that go back and do the Galamsey, because if he says release that the excavators, what is he telling them?
They were not releasing it for Galamsey purposes.
But why?
The mayor mentioned that he was using it for a different work still in Kumasi, which is for the benefit of the people of Kumasi.
So you see,
he just needed the excavators to execute that, even though it was illegal.
When you have drip machine.
But it was not to go back into the
Kumasi alone has over 10 constituencies. In the 10 constituencies, you have over 10 excavators. As a was, we have one. We don't even know how to use where to use them, because when you check the landscape and so on. So if he needs them, there are drip machines that you could use 11 of them, not this 5. So the Galamsey fight, the NDC, I remember when we came in 2017, we met the Galamsey issue. The first thing we did was to ban illegal small-scale mining for 2 years. That was what we did, the first thing. For 2 years, and we sent them to UMAT to train them. So now, the NDC in opposition joined the so-called neutrals to call on the president to declare a state of emergency. The current Lands and Natural Resources Minister is on record to have said that we should declare the state of emergency. This is just about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. What has changed that today? They are saying that they cannot declare state of emergency. We did it for 2 years. We banned legal mining. They had their licenses, but we banned it for 2 years. You, who said that we should declare state of emergency, today, Mustafa Bandi is telling us that if you declare state of emergency, you will not get investors in this country. But you used it 6 months ago and told us that we should declare state. The president and the government is not ready to fight the Galamsey. If you want to see this, just travel to Kumasi. Just travel to Kumasi. Get to Lindador. between Lindador and Anyinam. They are doing it within the community in Osino Township, in Anyinam Township, behind the police station. They are just there right now as I speak. They have destroyed the landscape. That is how they are doing the Galamsey today. So I'm not surprised that things are turning out like this. If we are not careful, as they told us the last time, because I remember during the campaign, the NDC guys told us that by 2030, we'll have to start importing water. I don't think we'll get to 2030. I believe that if we are not careful, by 2027, in the next 2 years, we'll have to start importing water because the way the NDC guys are destroying. But last week, you called Erastus, and Erastus said that ministers even drive to Galamsey sites and tell the security guys not to interrupt the work there. There's an MP who has been ostracized by his own people, our win, Oscar Oforilabi. The chiefs, pour libation, slaughter a sheep and said that they don't need him in that town because he's giving people one of the forest reserve to go and mine, and he was charging them 200,000. This government has not said anything about it. The minister has not said anything about it. Akwentamainen says, if I have done anything wrong, send me to court. How is that difficult? You held a press conference. You showed destruction and so on. And the minister who was calling for state of emergency yesterday, when he was not crying, today is crying and telling you that I cannot declare state of emergency. He said he's crying because of the destruction, but he cannot recommend a state of emergency call. It's fixated on Chamawun, to me, who got his license in 2013 under the NDC. And he's not a Galamsey, illegal large-scale miner. But your own MP, whose name has been mentioned by the chiefs, they said they even petitioned regional executives of the NDC. They said they don't even need him there because he was charging people 200,000 to enter into forest reserve to mine. You're quiet. There's no commitment on behalf of this government to fight the Galamsey menace. That is the reason on the 5th of May, we are calling on well-meaning Ghanaians to come and join us. We're doing Save the Judiciary campaign. But if you can come... Yes, demonstration.
Okay.
Save the
when
Judiciary.
Is that happening on the 5th?
Why are they
Save the Judiciary. Save the Judiciary.
It should tell you that they are
and you can come with your placards for Galamsey as well. So we are calling on every...
You are so much interested in the judiciary.
Save
the last time I came
will
here,
be held on the 5th.
We spoke about Galamsey and I said something, that it is not everything we would discuss here in public in terms of how we fight Galamsey.
We're still waiting for that.
And I told you that
we said it
the way,
we're still waiting.
yes,
Tell us the results.
No,
Tell us the results of the thing that you're doing.
manner armed robbery ended on the motorway is the same strategy.
Have you repeated this?
I'm telling you.
So
we don't tell us the results. You are 4 months into government now.
4 years.
So when are we seeing
4 years.
4 months and it is worse.
Gideon, when are we seeing?
You are 4 months and it is worse.
How is it worse? The point is
I'm
that
telling you that
it is
go
not
to
worse
right now. Just go with the way.
When are we going to see this happen? This drastic change that
I will
we're
not
going to
give you a
experience
timeline
with Galamsey.
But what I can...
You are even afraid to declare state of emergency.
No. I will not give a timeline.
You are even afraid because you know that
the actions we take will be very drastic.
You know
but
that
you see,
if a state of emergency is declared, excavator
doesn't mean only as the excavator doesn't mean for Galamsey. That is the problem. So when
if you
that is why people are
all we have 11 in
okay. So let me engage my viewers a bit. Mr. Kwasi Pratt says one that government should quickly Okay, let me go to this place.
Revoke the appointment of the... Yes.
It says one that government should quickly revoke the appointment of the Ashanti Regional Mayor Zuba. The government turned a deaf ear to calls to sack him when he passed that unwarranted comment. Now he's moving seized excavators to what? To do what? That is even a tip of the iceberg. Drip machines are seen in Galamsey sites. That is how far we've gone now. As for Galamsey, the least said about it, the better. The NDC and the executives are doing it like there is no tomorrow. Came from Paul sent in that one. This one over here says that good morning. Please, we are newly posted teachers from the colleges of education. We are currently picketing at the Ghana Education Service headquarters due to unpaid 8 months salary. Right. We were posted in August and assumed the duty in September 10th, 2024. We'll be very glad if you come and cover it for us.
We've settled. Come on. Definitely they'll be settled.
Have you seen that?
No, definitely we settled. Don't forget that everything about this, we have never turned deaf ears on it.
No, you've come back again. What are you talking about? When you
the president of the Ghana Bar Association is sitting here on NPP campaign platform with the husband, Honorable Jogate, and the GBA is now a branch of the NPP. Okay, this one over here. Says, KMJ, please tell Awala I want his number. Kwame Kra. Okay, Kwame, he will find a way and get that to you. Let me read this one over here. Good morning, KMJ. These butterfly guys are becoming more NDC than the NDC communicators. Their bitterness will end their political career after 2028. Maxwell from Galamsey sent in that as well. Good morning, KMJ. Okay, so let me go to this one. It says, good morning, KMJ. I hope the lawyers who disagree with the GBA should petition against the few who claim to have passed a parochial resolution and subsequent removal of the executive. Is GBA bigger than the other associations in Ghana who have the country at heart? Should the other associations come out with their resolutions? Simon sent in that one. It says, KMJ, you are biased and selective in your moderation and reading of viewers' messages. I have advised myself from today not to watch the program you lead. I prefer to be told that your message is not worth reading with a reason rather than absolute neglect. But I just read your message. You can't do that to me. What's the name again? What's his name? Simon, you can't do that to me. So I want to read your message again tomorrow, okay? Or hopefully some other time. So keep sending it. Apologies for not able to catch your messages. It's a campaign promised by the NDC to remove the CJ. Ghanaians gave the NDC overwhelming 57% votes and almost 2/3 of seats, meaning Ghanaians gave President Mahama the mandate to remove the CJ, and many more such promises give Mahama room to reset Ghana. Patrick in Accra sent him that one. Let me go to this one from Musa Abato in Asomasi. Says the Ghana Bar Association stance is disappointing and biased. They seem to be urging the president to ignore his constitutional duty. If they believe President Mahama has violated any law, the courts are the proper avenue, not political commentary. Their silence during similar actions by Akufo-Addo raises serious questions about their neutrality. Let me go to this one over here, and it says that kudos to the Ghana Bar Association for such a bold move. The president must not set a bad precedent for the country simply because of his personal interest. The CJ must be protected. Abdullah Abdul Razak in Tamale. Some people would say that the president has not been set with, the reference that we've made with his EC chair several times. So.
We are not afraid, but you will not dictate to us, and we are not bound. You say once we are following the procedure in the national constitution, we are not going to charges. Why would you say that? We are not bound. Force us. I will never do it. We will not allow NPP.
Your microphones. It will never happen. Your microphones are
It will never happen.
A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. Franco Trading Enterprise says you can buy phones, televisions, CCTV cameras, air conditionings, and if you need iPhone, Samsung, Nokia is the best place that you have to be. Please locate us. Our branches are here in Accra, and you can call us on the numbers on your screens and share, the details of what exactly you want, and we'll definitely be there to assist you get something. Franco Trading Enterprise is available on Google Play Store. You can download the app. You can also visit our website. It's www.francotrading.com, and you can also check all the things that we have over there as well.